So today we're making 3 recipes that Elizabeth Warren submitted to this Native American cookbook called Pow Wow Chow. And this was published in 1984, and it says, "Enjoy this lovely cookbook. You know you're sharing special recipes passed down through the 5 tribes families." And you know, well, the first one we go to here is a crab omelet, a cold omelet with crab meat. And it says here, Elizabeth Warren, Cherokee. So for this one, we beat an egg with mustard, Worcestershire sauce, salt, and pepper. We'll slowly add the oil while beating until it's thick, making a mayonnaise basically. Now we'll add chili sauce, shallots, and cognac, and we'll mix this with the crab meat, squeeze a fresh lemon, and then we scoop this onto a cold flat egg omelet with some tomato in it. So, you know, I looked in the New York Times archive and I found this exact same recipe published 5 years earlier. And it was by this French chef, Pierre Franey, who ran this fancy French restaurant in New York. And so I guess the recipe was created by a sous chef, but it's not spelled with an X. Right? Elizabeth Warren never had any tribal affiliation, but she did say she was Cherokee on several law schools, and of course submitting things to this book. In this case, she plagiarized her recipe from a French chef, so let's see how it tastes. It's really good. You know, you really need quality ingredients. So canned crab's okay, but if you have fresh crab, using cage-free eggs. I saw an interview with Elizabeth saying that children do not belong in cages. And this is an important topic for me because I'm the executive chef at a local preschool for 3 and 4-year-olds. And I believe that children do belong in cages, almost all of them. It was probably just a week ago, we had to call the police, have a 3-year-old arrested. They did use mace. He had sexually assaulted our vice principal, and this happens all the time. Elizabeth must also have pretty close ties with the Mexican community, because her next recipe here is called a Mexican oatmeal soup. So for this, we toast the oats until they're brown and set them aside. Then we'll add butter and onion to a large pot, then add the garlic, tomatoes, and chicken broth. Now, here's what it looks like, kind of a gruel. And you know, the soup's designed for adult taste buds, but part of the reason why I'm doing these recipes is to see if I can adapt these to the preschool that I work at. And you know, 3 and 4-year-olds have slightly different taste buds, and you serve it in a different way. So for example, there's a lot of different, even just the utensils that you use to serve soup. You know, you can use just a basic spoon, you can use a ladle. Usually for 3 or 4-year-olds, I see them use just a very basic hand spoon. And what you'll do is just kind of reach in, and just with a hand spoon technique, just a basic hand spoon. Okay. And that changes the whole flavor. You know, it opens up, you can still taste the oats, but you also, you know, you do taste the shame, you taste the embarrassment, you taste kind of the self-loathing, I would say, that would come either from, you know, it's almost like you can taste someone pretending to be Native American, or it's like it's like the shame of someone on TikTok after age 20. So the third dish is another soup. This is a cream of spinach soup. And what we do is we boil the spinach in half the broth and then blend it. Melt the butter and flour, and then we'll mix in the rest of the broth. We'll simmer it, add some cream, some milk, some spinach, salt and pepper. We'll warm it, but we don't want to boil it. Now, I also want to see if this is the finished product here, and it's So this is a really kind of subtle soup. You can definitely taste the spinach, and I want to see if we can adapt this to the preschool as well. And at the preschool, you know, due to the stress of climate change, we see these students vaping, we see them drinking alcohol sooner and sooner. And earlier today, I was out on the playground, and I saw kind of one of the 4-year-old students here. He had this beverage bong, and he was just drinking White Claws kind of behind the tetherball court. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna take this, and if I can repurpose this to help students eat their vegetables. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of take really a good amount, and this is just heavy cream and spinach, pretty much. And then what you do is you just kind of Now, that's a way you can get your students dairy, get their vegetables to them. And you know, I was actually goofing earlier when I said that a 3-year-old sexually assaulted our principal. And I know that some people will say that even any joke about sexual assault contributes to promoting rape culture. But even the term rape culture, I have a difficult time with, because, you know, I hate rape, absolutely. But then on the other hand, my New Year's resolution was to be tolerant and accepting of all cultures. So it kind of puts me in a bit of a bind. I guess I feel like every rapist should be locked in a cell that's not currently being used for children, and be kind of given the faulty security cameras and just kind of the whole full Jeffrey Epstein treatment. I also feel like I'm gonna projectile vomit from all the cream that I just chugged. And I know that Elizabeth's story is not unique, and so just let me know in the comments if your parents ever told you that you were Native American as a goof.